You are now entering an Akashic Odyssey.
Welcome back to our Odyssey to Tanzania, Part 2. In this video, we'll be talking about packing.
Alright, so subscribe to the vibe.
Comment on the content.
And if you feel led,
Support the movement.
Okay, so first category is apps. First one being VPN. Purpose of VPN is mainly to help you to access websites and apps that are US only or UK only, etc. Some are paid, some are free. There are different ones, but that's the purpose of that. Next is SoFi or Chime. These are two apps that you can use to use your money internationally to do international transactions. With SoFi, there is no ATM fee, but you do have to apply and qualify for it. Chime, you just sign up, and the ATM fee is $2.50 USD. Next up is Dingtone, or a similar call texting app that you can use to dial US numbers. WhatsApp. This one is used a lot in Africa and a lot in Tanzania. Businesses will have a WhatsApp. Individuals will have a WhatsApp. It's free, and you can still receive your messages even when you're off of Wi-Fi. You can also do call, text, photo, video with WhatsApp. It's a really good app. Next is Translator. You're definitely going to need that. Even if you have learned some Swahili, it's a good app to have, and with like the other ones, there are different apps, different translator apps. But it's helpful. The person can speak into the app, or you can get a translation for a word that you need. It goes back and forth. Next, kind of related to that, is a converter app. Also, you can Google things, but it's helpful to have that so you can. They use the metric system here, and in the U.S., I forget the name of the system, but it's different from what they use here. Also, you can convert the shillings to dollars and vice versa with that.
For example, for the metric system, instead of miles, it's meters. Mm-hmm. Instead of gallons, it's liters, and so on and so forth.
Exactly. World Remit is another one. It's a money app as well. You can use this to send money to people. For instance, paying your rent, that will be an app that you would use World Remit with, and we'll leave our code in the description, so you can get like $50 or $75 when you first sign up. So we'll leave that in the description. Also, with this, all of these you should set up before you leave the US, and especially with this one, because you need to get there's a couple preliminary steps. You need to get a code, and you need to do a couple steps beforehand, so that way when you do your actual first transaction, it'll go smooth. You won't have any wait time. Let's see. Next one is offline games. This comes handy like when you're on the plane and when you're in the airport, etc. If you're not by Wi-Fi, it's just nice to have that. A reading app is also good. And the same kind of idea, where you have the reading app, and you can download the books so you can read them offline. So I have Libby. Libby, it's a reading app that you can use. Kindle, etc. You can use those as well. And of course, bringing physical books. That's definitely good. So next category is devices. So noise canceling earphones. You're gonna be glad that you brought those for the plane and afterwards. Next one, very important, an unlocked phone or phones, depending on how many you're traveling with. You're gonna need this because it's a different country, it's a different network. The SIM card and whatnot that you use in your phone in the States is not gonna work over here. So you'll need that to be able to access. Well, you can, if you have a locked phone, you can still access Wi-Fi and whatever will work with Wi-Fi. But to make calls through your phone, things like that, you're gonna need an unlocked phone. And so you can call your company and see what are the steps and the cost to unlock your phone, or you can do like we did and buy an unlocked phone. We went to Walmart and it was relatively cheap.
It was under $200.
Yeah, it was relatively cheap. The next thing under devices is flashlight. So the flashlight is necessary because the power may go out from time to time, and if it's at night, you're gonna need that to get around and see. And the power, well, it depends. It's within throughout Africa and of course throughout Tanzania, and it fluctuates depending on where you are. We haven't experienced a longer than a day power outage. I think the longest was several hours, and then it came back on. So something to look out for. Another thing to pack under devices is chargers for all your devices and a universal plug, because the outlets here are different. It's a 3-pronged. We'll try to put a picture of it in there for you. It's easier to have. They do sell them here, but it's just one less thing, because you'll want to be doing stuff with your phone.
And they're not the circle plugs, they're the flat plugs, and there's 3 flat prongs.
Okay.
So I'll try to include a picture in the video.
Yeah. All right. Next category, very important, are all your documents. So your ID, your passport, definitely make sure your ID, we haven't really had to use it, but it's just always good to be prepared. So make sure your ID is up to date, and your name, like if you're married, your name, your address is matching up with what you have on your other documents. Passport, get that well in advance. If you're like us and you had a baby in between the time that you're planning your trip, you're gonna have to wait and get your baby's passport after you get their social security card. So just know as you're planning, you have to do things at different stages. Same thing with the visa, do that well in advance. They do have visa on arrival. We wouldn't recommend doing anything on arrival, especially with the times we're living in. Just as much as you can prepare beforehand, that'll be better for you. For the C test, so a copy of your results for the C test.
And again, if you take the C test for an airline and it expires after 72 hours, and with the new changes, the new restrictions that have been put in place as of May 4th, again, do your own research, because that information is constantly changing. But if you're needing it for Tanzania and the time runs out, you may need to have enough monies to do another test.
Right. Yeah, and there are also free tests available, but just make sure you're covered for that. Let's see, your tickets, your flight itinerary, your lodging itinerary, wherever you're going to stay when you land, your passport photos, just the individual photos themselves, birth certificates, health surveillance form, immigration card, which is what you fill out in the Tanzanian airport when you arrive, but you can get it online. So all of those documents, 2 or 3 copies of all of those, and in a sealed folder. We have one of those folders that you can get, at the dollar store or somewhere, where you can close it so it's sealed, or a plastic folder, and we put all our documents in there. Someone did recommend on another video to have your documents, say you have 2 or 3 copies, to have the different copies maybe in different places. So maybe have one set of copies in someone's carry-on and have another set of copies in someone's check bag. That way you're covered.
Just case in point, in my travels overseas, went to Frankfurt, Germany, and my luggage was late. And I had my passport in my luggage, but luckily I had a copy of my passport in my carry-on, which was with me. So that's just an example of why it's important to just keep copies of everything in each bag, because you never know when it's going to be late, or you won't have it, or it gets lost, God forbid.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. So the last thing under documents, which is just, it's more preferential, I don't know if that's a word, but is a journal, because this is, especially if you're repatriating, which you can use this video if you're just visiting, but a journal to capture all of your downloads, your revelations, different things like that as you embark on this huge life journey, huge life change. So next category is clothes. So in Tanzania, definitely I'll say for Dar es Salaam, because other areas have a little bit different climate. But for Dar es Salaam, it is hot. So definitely you're not going to need those winter clothes. I would say the most you would need is a light jacket, maybe for the rainy days. But if you don't mind rain, you probably wouldn't even need that. I would say light layers, light breathable layers. That way, if it's super hot, you can just wear one layer. If it's a little cooler, you can, add a second layer. Let's see, umbrella. Umbrella for the rain. Also, a sheet set for when you first move into your home, into your apartment. Towel set. A neck pillow for the plane. A good pair of sturdy, non-slip shower shoes. You'll notice that they do have bathtubs here, but it's rare. Mostly they do showers, especially in the lodging places, Airbnb, hotels, etc. They have showers, and it's an open shower, so there's no shower curtain usually. And then, especially at the lodging places, they'll have flip-flops that they'll leave outside the door or right inside the door for you to use as you're in the bathroom, because with the no curtain, the water is going to get everywhere. So yeah, especially if you're a person that doesn't like germs, definitely have your own shower shoes. Last thing under clothes is a bag for your dirty clothes, just to keep them separate from everything. Next category is toiletries. I would say with all of these, don't don't bring too much. Just bring what the basics of what you'll need. So toothbrush, toothpaste, bath soap, just the basic kind of things. Any specialty toiletries that you know you're probably not gonna find here, I would go ahead and bring those. Also, if you wear contacts and glasses, definitely bring those, especially the contacts. We've heard that it's easier to find glasses here than it is to find contacts. So I would just bring all that you have, even if it's a pair of glasses that's older, or it's you feel like, oh, I should throw it away. You should definitely keep it as a backup. Bring the supplies and accessories that go with the contacts, like the solution and all of that.
And shout out to Traveling Sister. She did recommend that, for contacts to bring the year supply. But if you don't have the year supply, you're not at a loss.
Bring what you have.
Everything that you can get in the United States, you can get here. It's just figuring out how to get it.
To get it, yeah. Yeah. For the most part, there are some things that we haven't been able to locate. But let's see. Okay, so for the women, sanitary pads, that kind of thing. Scissors, utility knife. That just comes in handy if you need to cut up some fruit and you haven't bought your kitchen supplies yet. Okay, so it's kind of a subcategory under toiletries, which is first aid. Some kind of pain reliever, some kind of air sickness reliever, if it's applicable to you. Earplugs, Band-Aids, sanitizer, alcohol wipes, mosquito spray, definitely you'll need that. Some itch cream, because it's not foolproof. Immune booster and activated charcoal. It has many uses. Definitely look that up. But a big use of it is if you have some kind of stomach bug or digestive issue, that'll help to detox and flush your system out.
Also, it may not be on the list, but invest in a water filtration bottle of some type. The water here is recommended not to drink from tap. You can boil it, but if you have a filtration device of some kind, then that'll make it drinkable.
Yeah. Next up is food. So with that, some snacks for the plane, if you're a picky eater or like to snack, and some seeds to grow when you get here and you move into your home. All right, next category, if you have a baby, some wipes, diapers, baby snacks, onesies that are they're easy because you'll get out to be changing their diaper, so they're easy to take on and put off, and they're breathable as well. So next thing, a baby carrier that's gonna save your life when you're trying to get all your bags and you're trying to make your different flights. A bottle or a cup for them, a wipeable bib, one that has a little pocket to catch any food is awesome. If you're doing breastfeeding, which I definitely recommend because the formula has just all kinds of nonsense that's gonna change your baby's makeup. But breastfeeding shawl, you can either buy one or make one. I cut a hole out of one of my large scarves, and that's what I use as a breastfeeding shawl. Last under baby is easy to clean toys, so toys that you can either wash or wipe off really quick. Next category is cash. A money belt that you could put under your clothing, that would definitely be a good idea. enough cash to last you from your U.S. departure through your first day in Tanzania. And as far as the amount of cash, it depends on your lifestyle, the amount of people going with you. For example, with us, we did 1,000 for a family of 3. It lasted us about a month.
And I only exchanged 200 USD when I made it to when we made it to the Tanzania airport.
Yeah.
And the other monies we just exchanged as we needed it.
Right. Yes. And you can do that at the different banks here.
By the way, too, it is important for the cash that you have on hand, ask your bank to give you notes that are 2013 or 2013 to current.
Yeah.
Because it's worth more when you go to exchange it. And I didn't find that out until we watched another video on YouTube that recommended it. So,
exactly.
And that's when I went to the bank and asked for $100 bills, 2013 to 2021. The bank teller was even confused. They were not aware that the notes had different dates on it. So, definitely do that if you're bringing cash with you.
Yes. And then as far as declaring, you only have to declare if you're bringing more than 10,000 or more. Let's see, next category. This is the last one here. This is the airline requirements. So check all your airline requirements. Make sure to check for the baggage allowance, how many bags and of what weight, and then they will have a checklist. Or this is not the airline, this is TSA. So TSA checklist, and they'll have, the liquids, carry versus checked, and I think it's 311 or 411 as far as the ounce to ounce on a carry-on, and then they'll have other items listed there, whether you can bring them or not. Okay, and then now we have some bonus tips. So when you're actually packing the items in your bags, if you ever play Tetris, that's going to come into play when you pack your bags. So pack it like Tetris to make sure you utilize every inch of space that you have in there. A good rule of thumb is if you think or know it'll be hard to find it here, pack it. Weigh your bags in advance. I think you can go to
UPS.
Like FedEx.
Yeah, FedEx, UPS.
To do that.
To weigh your bags. Yes.
Get an idea. As far as the luggage itself, we recommend getting ones that have a hard shell versus the fabric, that have an expander in the zipper, that have a telescopic handle, that have 360 spinner wheels. You'll thank us later for that. And just remember when you're purchasing these that it is an investment. You may be living out of these for a while, and they do have to go with you overseas. All right, y'all. So if this video empowered you, subscribe to the vibe.
Comment on the content.
And if you feel led,
Support the movement.